Once upon a time, there was a prince named William. He had a great passion for traveling and exploring distant lands. One day, while he was riding his horse, he came across a field that was completely adorned with sunflowers. In the middle of the field stood a large banyan tree. The prince, who loved flowers and plants, decided to rest under the tree and soon fell asleep. The prince woke up at sunset and was about to return to his palace when he saw a beautiful girl standing in front of him. He instantly fell in love with her and asked her to marry him. The girl replied, "I will marry you, but under 3 conditions." She continued, "The first condition is that after our marriage, you must not return to your palace. The second condition is that I will stay with you only from evening till morning. The third and final condition is that you must never ask me where I go during the day, nor should you try to stop me. If you fail to fulfill any of these conditions, I will leave you forever." The prince agreed to all the conditions and married her. They built a beautiful house in the sunflower field and began a happy life together. The princess would leave the house at dawn and return only after sunset. This continued for many days. The prince was always curious and anxious to know where she went. One day, he woke up before the princess but pretended to be asleep. As usual, she quietly left the house early in the morning. The prince secretly followed her. She walked into the sunflower field and suddenly disappeared. The prince was bewildered and puzzled. He wondered, where could the princess have gone? There is no place to hide, so where could she be? He thought for a while and finally came to a decision. He went from flower to flower, observing each one, and searched for a long time among the sunflowers. Gathering his courage, he picked a sunflower. It was nothing short of a miracle. The flower disappeared, and there stood his princess. The princess thanked him for saving her from the curse. She asked him, "How did you recognize me among all the sunflowers?" He replied, "The flowers had dewdrops on their petals, but you didn't because you were with me during the night. So, I was sure that the flower without dewdrops was you. That's why I picked it." Then the prince took the princess back to his palace, and they lived happily ever after.